McFarland in British Columbia on Canada's west coast. And this is WRMI Radio Miami International, Okeechobee, Florida, USA. You can also hear us on the internet at www.wrmi.net. Send us your program comments and reception reports to info@wrmi.net or to WRMI, PO Box 526852, Miami, Florida 33152, USA.
This is PCJ Radio International. This is PCJ Radio International. This is PCJ Radio International, broadcasting to North America from 1:30 to 2:30 UTC on 7730 kilohertz from Okeechobee, Florida, USA.
Hello, I'm Kelly Alexander from The Kelly Alexander Show.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere. This is Tom Meyer.
I'm Dan Hensley.
Hello, this is Jonathan Marks.
Hi, this is Bob Zanotti of Swiss Radio International and SwitzerlandInSound.com. I want to take this opportunity to extend warmest wishes and congratulations on the 5th anniversary of the Happy Station and PCJ Radio International. Thanks to the dedication of Keith Farrell, Shortwave Radio has received a new impetus and lease on life through PCJ. SIS is proud to be part of the PCJ family.
Hello, I'm Keith Powell, and welcome to this special broadcast from PCJ Radio International to celebrate our 5th anniversary. Today's program, while it will be a little bit self-indulgent, I have to admit at times, the show is really for you, the listener, because it's you that made this possible. It's you that wrote the letters, wrote the emails, contacted our answer line, that made us continue to provide programs that we hoped you enjoyed. So today's theme is love, and that's love for all our listeners. Before we continue with today's special broadcast, there's a few people that I want to thank personally. First, our good friend Jeff White in Okeechobee, Florida, USA, for our relay to North America. Also today, this is the first PCJ transmission going to Africa on the frequency of 15720 kilohertz. It's coming from M-Globe. Now, many of you may not know that name. M-Globe is the company that was set up after Radio Netherlands decided not to use the Madagascar relay station anymore. So we are actually right now coming from the same antennas that Radio Netherlands was putting programs out for many years. So my thank you goes to everyone at M-Globe, in particular Rokos de Yoda. And we have information on our website about M-Globe, and I'll give you that later on in the program. Also, I want to thank Ken Ritz at the Spectrum Monitor. We're giving away a 1-year subscription to the Spectrum Monitor, and also we're giving away two Sea Crane radios, courtesy of Sea Crane. And I'll give out that information a little later on in the program, so you can get a pen and paper handy to write the email address down and the information to contact us. Well, a few weeks ago, I posted on a number of different websites that we were looking for contributions from listeners to make this show possible. One of the first ones that came in was from our good friend Tim Braille in Malaysia.
Thanks for the memory of the Happy Station show. I just want you to know it's been grand, it's been swell. Happy anniversary. I wish you well. Thanks for the memory of sentimental times before the world went online, when a station called Radio Netherlands brought the brand of peace, cheer, and joy. Thanks for the memory of Eddie Starks and Tom Meyer, and little things like QSLs and postage stamps and laughs and letters from listeners afar. How wonderful it's been. Each week you revive and I relive. You're here an hour and then you're not. Oh well, such is life, I guess. Thanks for the memory of Bollywood and jazz. The tunes, they had such great pizzazz. Nina Simone, I think it was, had so much panache. Thanks for the memory of War of the Worlds with that wunderkind named Orson Welles. So glad that Halloween scare wasn't our last farewell. Thanks again for the mango smoothies and walks around old Taiwan. And hey, wasn't there a barking dog? How wonderful it's been. Before I bid adieu, au revoir, adios, sayonara, and auf Wiedersehen. Let me say there'll be no tears, no fuss. We will meet again. I'll do you. Sunten then, cheerio, and toodaloo. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tim, for your very nice message. Tim also let me know that March 12th is a special day for him. It's his 26th wedding anniversary. So, Tim, going out to you and your wife today, I'm going to play a singer from Malaysia. The singer is from Johor, Malaysia. His name is Frankie Chi. And here he is with Woman in My Life. Happy anniversary to both of you.
Has really brought you down. The laughing face I used to know now always spreads a frown. And if I was the one who hurt you, I apologize. There must be some way I can bring that smile back to your eyes. In my life, how long must you forget? Is there nothing I can say or do to get you back again? So a woman in my life can bring me to the end. If I can
program, I told you that we have some prizes that we're giving away to mark this special occasion. They are a 1-year subscription to the Spectrum Monitor and 2 C-Crane radios. Now, to enter, it's very, very easy. All you do is send us your name and phone number to the following email address, pcjcontest@gmail.com. That's pcjcontest@gmail.com. We will be announcing the winners on March 16th on Happy Station. So send it off right now, pcjcontest@gmail.com. I just want to take one moment to tell you something about C-Crane Radio. They've been in business for over 30 years. Bob Crane has prided himself to come out with products that listeners, especially of radio, will enjoy. Radios like the C-Crane Shortwave AM/FM receiver, the C-Crane Shortwave Pocket Radio, the C-Crane Radio EP, and so many others. To find out more information about them, you can visit them online at any time, ccrane.com. That's ccrane.com. Well, over the last 5 years, so many things have happened. As you're probably aware, most of our programs air through partner stations on medium wave and FM. It all began in March 2009 using a small 50 kilowatt to broadcast to North America, the Caribbean, and Latin America. And look what has been done in that time. We've added so many other programs to our schedule. One of the shows I want to highlight for the next few minutes is called The Stuff File. Now, this show is presented by somebody that many of you will already know, because for many years he was reading news and presenting programs on Radio Canada International. And most recently, the past couple of years, he's been reading the suppertime newscast on Global Television in Montreal, Canada. I'm talking about Peter Anthony Holder. Here he is to tell us something about The Stuff File.
This is The Stuff File.
The Stuff File program is an eclectic mix of interviews and odd news with a somewhat quirky bent. This past year, we've had guests such as Scott Thorson, the former lover of Liberace and the author of Behind the Candelabra, which was turned into an award-winning HBO movie. Anybody who's paid attention to the lawsuit you had back in the day against Liberace, anybody who's read your book, certainly anybody who's seen this recent film on HBO, they know how you met Liberace and what your life became because of that. Now, you were bailed out of jail by Dennis Hoff. You're now living at the Bunny Ranch. He's putting you up in one of the homes there. Doesn't this all sound familiar?
No, what do you mean?
Well, it's just that, Liberace was taking care of you. Admittedly, there was a sexual connotation to the relationship. But isn't this someone else taking care of you again?
Dennis isn't taking care of me. It's a two-way street. Okay, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Dennis, it's the first time in Nevada where the brothel and the gaming has been down. Dennis did me a favor by bailing me. I'm doing him a favor because I'm the hottest person in Hollywood right now. He's doing a little PR in exchange. Nobody's taking care of me. Mr. Hoff and I, we have a business arrangement. It's what we're doing. We're having a great time.
The Stuff File. Actor Robbie Rist, best known as Cousin Oliver on The Brady Bunch, who was also one of the stars of last summer's campy sci-fi hit, Sharknado. He talked about how he got the Sharknado role.
Well, actually, I kind of got into it in a roundabout way. I have been doing music for Anthony C. Ferrante's movies up until now. I also I wrote and performed 6 songs for Sharknado. And I was actually talking to another production company back east about 6 months ago or so. And, before Sharknado was a movie, it was a poster. That's kind of how the Asylum sold, how they got their funding. Is they made this poster of the shark the tornado with the sharks in it, and it said, "Enough said." And this guy saw the poster, and he's a big genre fan, as am I. And he was like, "Oh my God, did you see the Sharknado poster?" I'm like, "What is Sharknado?" He goes, "It's a tornado with sharks in it." And my head exploded. And then a little later on, Anthony C. Ferrante, who I've done all this music for, all these movies, said, "Yeah, I'm kind of in the running for directing Sharknado." And I grabbed him by his lapels, and I said, you must make this movie, and if you must make this movie, I must be in it. So he actually wrote me the part.
Excellent.
Yeah, totally. So, and yeah, I mean, I had no idea all of this was going to happen again. I seem to keep stumbling into things that sort of hit the popular culture. I mean, there's the Brady Bunch thing and the Turtle thing, and now this. It's pretty crazy.
No, we should mention that you were the voice of Michelangelo.
Yep, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. Yeah.
Exactly. So you've had I guess you've had the kind of career that fanboys love.
Yeah, I like I said, I keep stumbling into these things that kind of hit the cultural zeitgeist, I mean, Brady Bunch is now 40 years ago when I did it, and strangely, we're still talking about it, and in these times of information and technology moving so quickly, I mean, 40 years is about 70, 80, 90 lifetimes at this point, at least for something that's popular culture, you know what I mean?
The stuff file.
And off the beaten path guests like Julian Montague, author of a book that has an eye-catching title, The Stray Shopping Carts of Eastern North America, A Guide to Field Identification.
I got a lot of attention with the book for the title. It actually won the Oddest Book Title of the Year in 2007. I mean, the project is meant to be a bit obtuse, so the title is deliberately complicated and long.
Right.
So in some ways I feel like I'm in on the joke a bit more than maybe some of the other authors of bad book titles are.
But the thing about it is once you delve into it, this didn't start out as a book, this started out as a study, right?
Yeah, well, it's an art project. So, yeah, basically it's kind of like a conceptual art project that involves photography and text. So I'm an artist and a graphic designer, and when I started the project, I noticed back in, I think it was 99 that I actually got started on this with the idea. But I noticed all of a sudden shopping carts kind of everywhere in the city, like, just in strange positions on lawns, tipped over bus stops. I just somehow became aware that they were this sort of urban phenomenon, which we're all aware of on some level. And I thought it might be interesting to do a kind of photo project related to it, but if I were to just take photographs of stray shopping carts and just that was it, I felt they'd only read in a really one-dimensional way. Like they'd just be this kind of sad commentary on society or something. I wasn't interested in that. So I decided to kind of figure out what's happening with these shopping carts. Like how do they get from one place to another? Like what is the sort of rhythm of this kind of ecology that they have?
In the past, we've also talked to a guy who trains llamas to be golf caddies and another guy who has Hitler's toilet. There's never a dull moment on the Stuff File program, just as there's never a dull moment on PCJ Media. But then again, you already knew that. That's why you're here.
The Stuff File.
Yes, a broadcaster that many of you will remember when he was on Radio Canada International. You can always find the Stuff File on a number of partner stations and through our website, pcjmedia.com. Another series that we've been running here is Vintage Media Network with Jonathan Marks, the whole gamut of programs that he did for Radio Netherlands for many, many years. And then just over 4 years ago, we began Media Network Plus, because there's so much media news out there that many of you are interested in hearing about, including some quirky stories.